For those of you who don't know, my name is Free, and today we're going to talk about Royal Caribbean's NextCruise department. Should you book a NextCruise while on board or not? Well, the answer to that question is yes and no. Let's talk about it.
Look what you done started. Girl, keep working that body.
How y'all doing, people? My name's Keith.
And I'm Free, and we are
The Howards.
the Howards.
Yes.
Royal Caribbean and Celebrity have a NextCruise department on board, which gives you the option to put down a deposit or book your next cruise. You have two options to take advantage of this. One, you can do an open booking where you just put down $200 and you have a whole year, 365 days to choose what ship and sail date you want to apply that deposit to. And you still get some discounts, and they used to give you up to $100 in onboard credit, $50 or $100 based on number of days of the sailing and what room category you were sailing on. Or you can book your actual next cruise while on board. If you choose to do option 2, which is to choose your actual ship and sailing date, they usually give you some discounts. Well, let me back up. When choosing an actual sailing, this is where the sales comes in. NextCruise is going to push you to go ahead and choose your next ship and sailing date. And as a result, they'll incentivize you by offering you something like additional onboard credit or higher discounts. Here's the problem with this and why you should be wary when choosing a ship and sailing date, even if you already know exactly what ship and sail date you want to book next. First of all, it would benefit you if you had Wi-Fi. Because if you have Wi-Fi on board while you are at NextCruise, you need to look up on Royal Caribbean's website exactly how much that cruise is going to cost you. That way you know what kind of savings you're going to get. You don't have to go off of their word telling you you're getting savings. You can look at it and you can see what kind, if any, savings you're getting by booking whatever rate it is they're going to quote you on board. The problem with that is a lot of times, they're actually overcharging you. And they're overcharging you because they're giving you this bonus onboard credit. It can be $200 to $500 or more of onboard credit just for choosing your ship and sailing date. What they don't tell you, and you can ask them at NextCruise, you ask them directly, they're going to give you the answer. Thing is about cruises, prices fluctuate a lot and they go down a lot. With cruises, unlike airlines, after you've booked up until your final payment date, anytime that price drops, you can call in to Royal Caribbean or your travel agent and have them reprice that cruise. As long as it's not final payment date, then you're going to get the new rate at the lower rate, or if you've already paid above the amount that you are being quoted, you'll get a refund for what you paid in excess. But if you utilize that option with NextCruise and you did a booking and they gave you additional onboard credit for doing that booking, guess what? You will lose a portion, if not all of that additional onboard credit. Now, in all fairness, it's the same way if you go on Royal Caribbean's website and they have any type of offer or rate rather that includes onboard credit. If you reprice that booking, which you have the right to do, then you can lose a portion of or all of the onboard credit because you're now taking advantage of a different promotion that is at a lower rate. So a lot of times you'll go online and you'll see onboard credit and you're like, ooh, wow, that's a great deal. It's only there for a few days for a reason, and then the price drops because they're actually charging you more for the onboard credit. And then once that promotion ends, the price pretty much drops, which is under what the amount of the onboard credit was, or close to it. So you just have to keep watching cruise prices. Point is, you keep watching cruise prices, and you always want to have the option to your advantage to reprice if the price drops, because it often does. With NextCruise, if you do the open booking, you can reprice as many times as you want, because if they're still doing the promotion that they were doing prior to January 2025, where they give you the $50 to $100 of onboard credit, you are receiving that no matter what. Even by choosing your ship and sailing date, they're giving you the additional onboard credit in addition to the $50 to $100 onboard credit. So instead of, if it's $200 bonus for choosing your ship and sailing date, then you're going to get anywhere between $250 to $100 in onboard credit. I mean, $300 in onboard credit. That's how that works. But if you do an open booking, you don't have to worry about repricing because you're still retaining that $50 to $100 onboard credit. You're never going to lose that if they still had that promotion. Because like I said, as of 2025, it looks like they took that off and they're saying they're giving you, instead of the onboard credit, you're giving you those same dollar amounts and additional discounts. So if you get those additional discounts, in theory, those should still stay. I don't know if they do or not because I haven't seen what the new promotion is. But for the most part, whatever promotion you have for the open booking should be the same whether or not you do repricing in the future. The other disadvantage to choosing a booking while you're on board. One thing that you do not have access to if you have a travel agent currently or in the future is travel agent reduced prices that we have locked in at group rates. So NextCruise is not going to quote you any of the group rates because those vary by agent and agency. So I can be a travel agent, person next to me can be a travel agent, we could be with two different agencies. One of us may or may not have a group booking that's to your advantage. Now, if I happen to be your agent and I happen to have a discount for that particular sailing that you want, if you book with NextCruise, get the additional bonus that they're offering you for booking on board, then you get back and contact me because even though you booked on board with NextCruise, whoever your travel agent is remains your travel agent. Except in the case where they try to make you take away your travel agent. We'll get to that later. But if you contact me as your travel agent and let me know, hey, I booked the NextCruise on board. And I say, okay, well, let me pull up your reservation and see what kind of rates you got. I see your rate. I also pull up I pull up the same ship and sailing date and see what the price is through our agency. And hey, we have a group discount. In fact, my discount saves you $1,000. You would want that $1,000, correct? I can move that booking into the group booking, but two things happen. One, you do lose the advantage of booking with NextCruise and having a reduced deposit. So now you'll have to pay the remaining balance on the deposit. If it's 5 days or less, you're only paying about additional $100. If it is 6 nights or over, you only paid a $200 deposit with NextCruise because of the reduced deposit instead of the regular $500 deposit. So you will have to pay the remaining $300 deposit for an agent to move you into the group booking. However, you still have the savings that you have with the group deposit. If you create an open booking with NextCruise, nothing changes other than same thing. You pay the additional amount for the deposit. The main difference between doing the open booking and choosing your ship and sail date is that NextCruise is upselling you by offering you some other type of incentive. And that's what's at risk of being taken away if the cruise price drops. So I'm not saying don't book with NextCruise. I'm saying that your best bet with booking NextCruise is to book an open booking versus taking whatever incentives they're offering you should your rate drop or your agent have a better rate for you. So do the NextCruise, but choose wisely on which way you book. Open booking, which another advantage with the open booking is you have 365 days to book whatever cruise it is you want to book. Life happens, right? You have a cruise in mind, you think you're going to go, and then something happens where you can't go. And let's just say you haven't booked it just yet. It's 100% transferable if you do the open booking. So you can transfer it to somebody else. You can use it for yourself. You can gift it, and you can even sell it if need be. So you get your $200 back because they'll tell you that $200 is non-refundable. That deposit's non-refundable. The exception to that is if it's a casino booking. So casino people, listen up because your interactions with NextCruise are totally different than regular people that are just booking to have nothing to do with the casino. Casino, If you earn a certificate starting at around 600 points now, you may be able to get one person free with a discount on a second person offer. However, that offer only is effective if you go to NextCruise and put a $200 deposit down. Once you hit 1,500 points, your bonus is in free play. So at 1,500 points, you have earned the free cruise. You don't have to put down the deposit. The free cruise is yours. You have 30 days to choose your cruise, no matter what level you got a certificate at. You have 30 days from the end of the sailing to actually choose and book your cruise. But if you're at 1,500 points and above, your bonus for doing the next cruise booking is in free play. Okay? 1,200 points and under, if you don't book that with NextCruise, if you don't put the $200 deposit down, that's what they mean by booking with NextCruise. You have to put a $200 deposit down with NextCruise. If you don't do that, then you do not have that free cruise that is on that certificate. I'll say that again. If you do not put the $200 down with NextCruise and you earned a certificate of 1,200 points or less with casino, you do not get that free cruise if you get off the ship without paying that $200 deposit. So it's very important, if you have one of those certificates or if you want your free play, to make sure you put the $200 deposit down with NextCruise. There's 2 ways to do that. 3, you can go use the app, but that's kind of dangerous because sometimes when you go into the app and you put the deposit down, it doesn't process through the system. And once you're off the ship, if you don't have a booking number, it's just gone. You can fill out the piece of paper that they're going to give you attached to your certificate. You then go to NextCruise office and you can drop it in the box. They do, for the most part, make sure that they process those and they email over to either you or your travel agent your reservation number. And the third way is to go in person, and you go to NextCruise, you tell them you want to put the deposit down, everything is confirmed right there in front of you, and you get a reservation number. If you do that, make sure you write down that reservation number because, again, if you had a travel agent, they don't always send that reservation confirmation to you. It'll go to the travel agent. And if they fail to send it to the travel agent and you forget to let your travel agent know that you did a NextCruise booking, then it's just out in limbo somewhere. So when you're ready to use it, you may forget about it. Your agent doesn't know about it because they didn't do what they were supposed to do. So having that reservation number and writing it down so you have it for your records is really important, just because you want to have that backup. It confirms that you got what you paid for. Because when you go to book your casino booking, you are going to give them the NextCruise reservation booking number. At that point, whatever ship and sail date you chose off of your list is going to be applied to that same reservation number. So your reservation number won't change. It will just now have a ship and sail date attached to it. If they are still doing the $50 to $100 onboard credit for casino players, it is to your advantage to put the $200 deposit down, because not only are you getting whatever the bonus was for putting the deposit down, whether it's either the comp cruise for 1 or 2 with no free play or the free play in addition to the comp cruise, you are also getting that onboard credit. And that's the only way you're pretty much getting onboard credit attached to that booking. So it makes sense. Now, your $200, it didn't just go away. Your $200, no matter who you are, what type of booking it is, that $200 gets applied to the total cost of the booking. So for casino players where you're only paying the taxes and fees, if your total cost is $205, you've already paid $200. You only need to pay the balance of $5. If you do a single person cruise and your cost is only, say, $137, you're going to get the remaining balance refunded back to your original payment method. So where NextCruise says that it's non-refundable, that's not necessarily true when it comes to casino bookings. Also, once you have turned that deposit into an actual ship and sail date reservation, with casino, you have up until 7 days before sailing to cancel that reservation and get 100% of your money back if it was a comp for 2 cruise. In that situation, you will get the full deposit refunded back to you. Whatever it was that you paid for that reservation, you get that 100% refunded back to you. Someone asked me a pretty good question I hadn't even thought of, and they asked, how will I know about NextCruise? Will NextCruise be on board, like saying, hey, come book with NextCruise? No, NextCruise is not going to solicit you on board. Their office will be located down on the promenade, and really the only way that you'll know about NextCruise is if you look at the paperwork that's delivered to your stateroom. Casino, again, when you get your certificate, that if you earn one, that will be delivered to your room the last day of the cruise. The first page is going to be your certificate telling you what all you earned. The second page is going to be a paper from NextCruise with the portion that you can fill out and drop off. So it'll tell you what kind of discounts you can earn. It'll tell you if there's any onboard credit associated with it or not. And those same papers are available at the NextCruise office, and I believe also at guest services. So anyone can pick one up if they're interested in NextCruise. The last day of the cruise, because so many casino certificates go out and casino people kind of need to go pay that $200 deposit, the line can get very, very long. So if you're not a casino person and you're just interested in doing the NextCruise deposit or booking, you need to try and go before the last day of the cruise. It'll be a lot less crowded. And if it's too crowded, again, especially if you're going to do an open booking, but even if you know what ship and sail date you want, you can fill out the paper and they will charge the card that's on file for the $200. So NextCruise has been trying to get rid of your travel agent, apparently. Like I said, whoever your travel agent was prior to getting on the cruise, if you used a travel agent, if you book with NextCruise, your agent will remain your agent. Unless NextCruise tells you that you should remove them. What are they talking about? Let's hear it from the horse's mouth. Check it out. You went down the NextCruise.
Right. And when I got down the NextCruise, we were going to follow up about the cruise, that
you
I
won.
Right. So when we got there and they pull in all the information or whatever, and she said, well, you have a cruise advisor. So I said, no. She said, are you aware that you have a cruise advisor? I said, no. She said, well, yeah, you with a travel agent. I said, oh. So then she said, well, what we're going to do is we can take the travel agent off, because the travel agent really don't do shit. They don't do right by people, know. And we need to, take them off, and then perhaps, you can just go call the 1-800 number and go directly to Royal Caribbean and tell them, your offer, your Crown and Anchor number, or whatever, your reservation number, and they could set you up with the cruise that you need. You don't really have to go through a travel agent or whatever. I said, no, we're going to stay with the travel agent. She said, well, the travel agent, they work by commission, so they're not going to give you the right perks. They're not going to really do what they're supposed to be doing, because when you have a free cruise, they don't really make anything, so they're not going to give you the best offers, or they're not going to do what they're supposed to be doing. So then she said, so you want me to go ahead on and take I said, nah, leave it on. So then she started talking about something else. She said, sure, because I can take it off right now and you wouldn't have to worry about that. No, leave it on. She's a family member and she works for us. So therefore, she's going to take care of us. We know she will. She does it all the time.
Who's going to remind us?
They ought to be shamed.
Yeah, like who's going to remind us to go, hey, y'all need to go book this. Hey, y'all need to go do that. Will they call us and tell us that? Hey, you need to go figure out what activities you want to be doing. Hey, don't forget, you have to go and do this. Yeah. Don't forget. No, they're not going to do that. We have a travel agent. That's the reason why Ferlima Howard is our travel agent. Right. Sorry, lady. I can't go with you, lady, because I don't know shit about cruising, and we need the person that's our cruise advisor to call us and tell us, hey, now it's time to go do your health questions. Now it's time to do this, because we don't know, because we just got the cruise. So the hell on them. Royal, just give me my free cruise and let my cruise advisor do her job. Thanks. Peace out.
Okay. Well, I surely appreciate you guys and your loyalty. Yeah. NextCruise ought to be shamed trying to take away the travel agent's commission.
Yeah, just telling you, that's what she did. So, but I shut it down, of course. I need free. Oh no, we need free. Oh,
Well, I
no.
appreciate you.
Free is the family travel host.
Even though you won't let me fire myself because y'all be working me too hard.
Right. And guess what? So guess what's gonna happen when we go on a cruise and it's free on the cruise, and then we need to have problems with our room or something not right? Who the hell we gonna call? Ghostbusters?
Our travel agent. Free.
Who we gonna call? Ghostbusters? No, we're gonna call Falima Howard. Yay!
Well, I appreciate y'all. Thank you. Those are my cousins. They are my clients. As you can see, I can't fire myself even if I wanted to. But they also had a couple of other good questions. So I hope you enjoyed that little tidbit about how NextCruise tried to take my little old commission away from me by getting them to get rid of me. Thankfully, I have loyal clients. And now, here's a quick little question and answer that they had, because they had some really good questions, and I think it applied to some other people that might be watching like you. So, check it out.
So, what it is that the NextCruise told me that you could pick your room that you want to be in.
Okay, so what that means is that's the difference between the word guarantee behind the stateroom, like interior guarantee, whatever category, and it just saying interior, for example. Stick with that category, okay? If it says guarantee, then that means it's the cheapest rate, and it means that the cruise line picks the room for you. So you won't know what room number you have until closer to your sailing date.
Okay.
So you can book today for a cruise 50, 60 days from now or a year from now, but you won't get your room number assigned to you. You won't know exactly the location of that room until about 30 days or so before your cruise, sometimes even later. So if you don't have guarantee behind, then you get to choose the exact location. You look and see on the deck plan what rooms are available, and you choose your exact room. So you have more control about where your room is located versus a guarantee.
I wouldn't be able to do that. That's why I have a travel agent.
True. However, I'm going to now look at the deck plan, tell you what's available, and give you the option on which room you want to choose. I'll say this room right here is closer to the elevator. This one's midship. This one is front. This is back, whatever.
Right.
And according to the deck plan and availability, we're choosing the room. With a guarantee, they're just going to assign you to any random old room. However, sometimes it's a good thing, especially on an interior category, because they often try to upgrade you. So Royal Caribbean will have different interior categories. Some ships will have interior with virtual balcony. That means like that mirror right there, it'll be a floor to ceiling LED screen with a live view of what's going on outside. You also have the promenade view where the parties are at.
Right.
They'll have rooms that they have a window, and the window overlooks the promenade. A lot of times when you book an interior guarantee, you'll get upgraded to one of those rooms because those rooms cost a little bit more. So it can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing, because you could also just get thrown to any old room that's way in the front or way in the back, way far away from the elevator. It's a chance you take, but it's a good way to save some money.
And it's also why I have a travel agent, Falima Howard. Thanks. And I won't have to do the legwork. That's a good thing. I have a travel host named Falima Howard.
This is
so
true.
You need to get with her to book your cruise, because she's very knowledgeable about Royal Caribbean. She done cruised 150 times.
It's not that
So
many.
she know every room. She know what's in the room, even underneath the bed. She knows. So therefore,
This is true, because this blanket right here was underneath the bed.
We have a stack of towels in my house.
Why are you looking so amazed? Yeah. Right underneath the bed, they usually have extra linen and extra towels and stuff and extra pillows.
okay. What if you do not like your room on the next guarantee? What do you do?
Okay, now, this is a pro tip. Sometimes, this is not a guarantee. Once your room is assigned, if you don't like the room location,
Travel host.
If you don't have a travel agent,
Travel
you
agent.
can call Royal Caribbean or the cruise line, whichever cruise line, and let them know this is the room that you were assigned, but you don't like that room. You want to know if they can move you to a different guaranteed room. Sometimes they will. There is no guarantee. So back to the word guarantee, that they will, but you can try.
Okay.
You have a better chance with that with Royal Caribbean than Carnival. And again, it comes down to the agent. So anytime you call and you get an agent, it says something you don't like, hang up that phone, call, get somebody else.
Are you travel agent?
No. The travel agent is doing the same thing that I just told you. I am calling them on your behalf to make that request.
So why should I put
Because
myself
I
through?
need you to understand that I am going to do my best to make that request, and I may call multiple times. However, there is no guarantee that I will be successful. So that's the risk you still take with guarantee, that you might get a room you don't like, but 9 times out of 10 you
Why would you
do.
put yourself through that stress when you have a travel agent? Why not let the travel agent do their job? That is the reason why people have travel agents. See, me, I probably would flash out on the phone and I would be put off a Royal Caribbean. So no, I have a travel agent, Philema Howard.
Who is firing herself.
No. Who does a very good job. No. We're not going to fire her. We're going to keep her. She's a keeper.
Well, thank you very much. I hope I was able to answer a lot of your questions about NextCruise. We get the question a lot in Facebook groups and just in general, should I do NextCruise? So that's why I wanted to do this video, to give you a little bit of insight about, 1, what NextCruise is, 2, what type of NextCruise bookings are available, and 3, how it can affect you should a price drop occur in the future before you're sailing, depending on what type of booking you made. If you're casino, you're not worried about price. At most, you're still checking prices because you may always upgrade your cabin category. Okay, that has nothing to do with NextCruise really. That's just your casino booking. But for everyone, always look at cruise prices, because they can drop in the future. And if they do before final payment, you can either get a refund or you have the option to upgrade. I'd like to invite you to subscribe if you haven't already, so you can hit like, comment. Any questions you have, that's what I'm here for. I like to answer them, like this particular video right here. So give me a comment. Tell me what you think. Tell me your own experience. Let us know. And in the meantime, thanks for hanging with the Howards.